Hello and welcome all you would-be villains out there. I'm Duuz-Diz-Din coming at you with another chapter review of My Hero Academia. This time it's chapter 224 titled Second Coming Festival, where we see Mr. Compress analyzing the fact that the Superhuman Liberation Army is using satellite technology in order to pinpoint their location. Meanwhile, Twice is kind of freaking out because he's desperate to save Giran, as he feels greatly indebted to Giran for actually doing his best to get Twice back on track with his life, get him to some form of a sense of normalcy, whatever he can do. However, a lot of the rest of them aren't really down with that, as some feel that, Giran might already be dead, that Redestro might be lying about everything that he's talked about. There's no real way to actually believe anything but that Redestro has told them, anything that Yatsubashi has actually gone on to tell them. And honestly, this is true. It's obviously a trap, but I mean, they've out and out said they want to destroy them to prove a point, to elevate their status. So there's no real reason for them to really go through with this. However, Tomura Shigaraki has a plan. And knowing that the doctor is listening in, we get the explanation from him, well, from the doctor at least, that he's kind of impressed that, all these old groups are coming out of the woodwork because of the League of Villains. But, they start to kind of question, well, at least Mr. Compress does, as to whether or not they might be able to use the high-end Nomu. However, the doctor says that most of his children are out of the testing phases, and apparently Dabi had pretty much sacrificed the one high-end in order to retrieve something he called his adorable hood. Oh no, the hooded one. He's talking about the hooded Nomu. So Dabi wasn't able to get back any remains or what was left over of that one. I think that's what he's talking about. So it would be apparently incredibly difficult to get one out at this moment, or increase production. However, that wasn't what Tomura actually had in mind. Apparently, Tomura is waiting until Gigantamachi will actually be ready to go on the offensive again, and he wants to use that opportunity to warp into the location of the Tenorat, the Superhuman Liberation Army's main headquarters, the city that they have under their control, and wait until Gigantamachi is back up and running, and basically have him run up into the Liberation Army, and they basically just have him run wild in their territory. And so he actually wants to use this not so much to even defeat the Liberation Army, but he actually wants to use it as a way of, because, naturally the Liberation Army is going to see him and just go on the offensive because, just because, they don't want anything being found out by an outsider. So they'll just go on and attacking Gigantamachi. Gigantamachi will be worn down from the various, forces that they have, the 100,000 strong that they have. So, the doctor is actually fairly impressed with this plan and all this. And, he's actually kind of impressed that, Tomura Shigaraki would come up with a plan like this. But Tomura says that the fool will die just as he deserves, so I'm not quite sure if he's talking about Yosobashi, the Redestra, or he's talking about Gigantamachi specifically. But they head to the town where the Liberation Army is. They get ready to head on in. They're rejoined by Dabi, who is completely not down with doing any of this or even being involved. He cares nothing for Girin. And, but they are, confronted by the hero that we saw towards the end of the previous arc, namely Sliding Go, who first appeared denouncing this weaponry that one of the villains had, saying it was a cheap product. But it's now pretty obvious that he was just denouncing it because he didn't want to bring attention, as we come to find out that he is in league with the Liberation Army. This goes to show that there are actually heroes under the employ of the Liberation Army. So there the Liberation Army's reach actually goes pretty far, and it's pretty deep, as we can see. And we see that an entire town is under their control, under their, apparently Sliding Go explains, and then Kyoku Hanabata comes in with Chitose Kozuki, the leader of the political party and the Shueisha executive director. They both come in leading these forces of all these, quirk-powered individuals, saying that today is a bit of a celebration as they have control of this entire city and have brought in all these people as a Second Coming festival for the Liberation Army. And they recognize him from the Heartseekers Party, and they know that he's a big shot in the world of politics and all that good stuff. So they, that gives confirmation to the fact that they probably actually do have over 100,000, people on their forces. But Twice is still interested in doing his best in order to find Girin. Hanabata ends up pointing out to a tower that's nearby, saying that Girin is over there with their supreme leader, which we know this to be true because we saw Girin being held in a tower. The view from where Girin was being held looks like it's in a tower. And Twice is just pissed off because he was hoping to immediately know if Girin was okay, have some concrete evidence as to whether or not Girin was okay. And as various superpowered individuals go in to try to take down Tomura Shigaraki, he wastes no time in immediately just killing them all. And this is I think the very first time we've truly seen him just outright murdering people. Like, there are no disintegrating limbs, no getting them just to a smaller degree. He's cutting through them like a hot knife through butter. So it's possible that he's actually upgraded his abilities to be able to just instantly just touch, gone. You're dead right there on the spot, which makes him intensely dangerous. Meanwhile, we have Himiko Toga get blasted at her foot, almost like the ground just explodes up from underneath her. And it turns out this is the ability of Chitose Kizuki, the head of the Shueisha offices, who wants to do a bit of an expose on Himiko Toga, saying that she wants to get an exclusive interview before her death as to why a normal schoolgirl would descend into madness. And Toga's just like, yeah, no, I don't want any part of that. No reporters, please. So, and that's where our chapter ends. And I'm actually really looking forward to this chapter, just to actually see the League of Villains throw down, see how they might have improved in various ways. you don't really know how this is gonna go, all things considered, because it feels like a waste if they, the Liberation Army just gets taken out right here and now without really even, doing anything. Because a group of people with this kind of reach and leeway and influence, just kind of being a throwaway for the League of Villains sounds like a really overall waste, but should the League of Villains take over their corporations and bring them into their fold by force, then that could actually be fairly interesting. And, now that we've had the whole explanation, whenever you receive an explanation as to a plan, usually the plan has to go awry. So I very much doubt that we'll see things go according to Tomura Shigaraki's plans, all in all. But this has been fun. I've been enjoying this for the most part. Nothing really deep to go into. It's fairly straightforward what needs to be done, what we should expect going forward, because I doubt the League of Villains will just be like killed off right here and now. But you never know who might end up dying in the fray, that's the thing. And not to mention, it's just like, what will they ultimately benefit with? Will they benefit from having Gigantamachi bend the knee to Tomura Shigaraki, or will they gain control over the Liberation Army's forces in some capacity, like I'm thinking? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. But until then, feel free to leave this video a like if you liked what I had to say, or a dislike if you didn't, and tell me what I might have done wrong in the comment section below to better myself for future videos. And hey, how about subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you never miss a video of My Hero Academia chapter reviews. And if you want to find me on any social media platforms, just Google Duuz-Diz-Din and you will most certainly find me. I am everywhere. And until the next time, tear down your enemies, all you villains out there. Until the next time, take care.